Kareem Ali is in the building, and it's only right. We 1 year later, but we want to really talk to the situation of how a lot of people played part in making some stuff transpire here in Memphis. We all know we have a new mayor now, and he gave me a message yesterday because I had to ask him the question, and he gave me an answer, and I'm gonna share that along the day. But first and foremost, I want everybody just introduce yourself, let everybody know who's here, so we can give everybody that opportunity in case they family listen. Like, yo, there go my cousin, there go my baby, there go so and so and so. So let's go ahead and start that off and let everybody do some introductions. Go ahead.
Oh, well, Jamal, Tyre Nichols' brother.
Kiana, Tyre Nichols' sister.
Y'all can move that mic. Y'all can move that mic over there.
Okay. Kareem Ali, investigator with Ben Crump Law and community activist.
Lil Dreadhead activist, aka Cleo, Paula Veris.
You can move that. It'll stretch over there. There you go.
Latoya, Tyre Nichols' sister.
Michael Cottrell, Tyre Nichols' brother.
Jay, Tyre Nichols' brother.
Amber, community organizer.
Okay.
LJ Abraham, activist and community organizer.
Cassio Montez, community activist.
Frank Gotti, the one who gonna push behind Tyre.
All right. So now we got the particulars out the way, and I wanna first I wanna talk to Kareem about from the onset of everything popping off, the activists played a very big part, right? And the way the activists galvanized the community in a short period of time and in a peaceful manner. I remember when moms came up here and said she wanted to thank the activists and thank the community for handling it the right way that it was supposed to be handled. Mm-hmm. Even though in a blink of an eye, this whole city could have been turned upside down. That's why the media was here. Right. Everybody and their mama was here with cameras trying to instigate something. But I think we have to give that proper props to our local activists who may not get that recognition, but because Brother John is the big brother, the uncle, the big homie, and I'm one of the very few media specialists or whatever you want to call me that believes in giving proper treatment and fairness to everybody. So like yesterday we had the mayor here, now we got the activists, we got the families, to let you see we really about this life here in Memphis. So Kareem, can you talk about how important the activist role was in this whole situation?
Well, the activist community here in Memphis absolutely played the most important role in this entire matter of bringing forth justice for Tyre Nichols. They absolutely operated in love, and they took the lead of the spirit of Miss Rovon Wells.
That's right.
Of course, we wanted to shake the whole city down.
We did. It was like a half an inch.
Yeah, ain't no question about that. You know, because sometimes I affectionately call this activist team the Goon Squad, and they was ready to handle business. Right. But what was unique about Tyre that we learned about Tyre from Sacramento, because we really didn't know Tyre. Mm-hmm. A few people at his job at FedEx, his colleagues and friends at Starbucks knew him, but we found out about Tyre really through social media from all of his childhood friends in Sacramento. And this young man was a loved young man, had a great personality, and he was a young man who really had the pulse of humanity. He affected and loved people from all walks of life. And so we was like, hey, we're not going to do no acts of violence because it would defeat the purpose of who Tyre really is and who he was, because he was not a violent man. And so we had to get justice for Tyre in the spirit in which Tyre exemplified his everyday life, which was peace. And so the activists all came together in unity to do that on behalf of Miss Rovon, but yet they pressed the gas.
Right.
I wanted to say something else to rhyme with that, but I ain't gonna say that. But they pressed the gas and they put pressure on the mayor of this city at the time. They put pressure on the chief of police and the city as a whole. And I think we mobilized one day, and after one day, the next day on that Sunday, we made the whole city leadership go to church, because that Sunday morning we got a letter from the mayor and Chief Davis announcing that they were putting these officers on administrative leave without pay. So the pressure was on, and we knew. And then from that day, from the next day, we went to Martin Luther King. It was his birth anniversary. And we went and we protested with the family. And there was also another rally or a luncheon with some of the individuals from MLK. What was that? That was the...
It was the honor, like the MLK like luncheon where they honor community.
Where they honor community people. And so the activists went in and they crashed that event in honor of Tyre. But it was that collective effort of putting pressure on the city to make them respond and do the right thing. Because as activists, we knew what happened. Because we went on Ross and Raines where the alleged incident happened, but we come to find out that it didn't happen there on the intersection of Ross and Raines. It happened at Castlegate and Ross. And so when we saw that particular location and we got there, we looked up in the sky and it was a sky cam. It was a police cam. So we knew that whatever happened that day, it was on this camera.
Recorded,
and
right.
so we were pressing to make sure that the video was transparent to the family and to the city. Okay. And so that's really how all of this culminated with the activists and getting Attorney Crump involved and then pressing forward with public justice for Tyre Nichols. And, man, they deserve all of the pressure, all of the credit because they was wall-to-wall fighting for Tyre Nichols.
And I'm glad that we're able to do this, and I'm thankful to the family for allowing the activists to join us today because in certain circles, they wouldn't want this to take place, if you understand what I'm saying, right? But if I got to be fair, I got to show both sides,
That's
right?
true.
So I thank the family for allowing the activists to join us. And now I want to pass the mic to the activists to talk about your role. As we heard what Brother Kareem said, but, you know, what happened to make this go the way it did? Like, everybody was ready to turn this city up. But you all, whatever y'all said, did, met, whatever happened, it was like y'all held the city back. And I would love to see how that all came about because the mother was thankful, but, you know, inside, we was like, yo, we got to get busy. But whatever y'all did, I mean, how that played out, can y'all talk about how Memphis shook up the whole world by handling this the proper way?
So when we first found out about the incident, when Kareem brought it to our attention and we had the balloon release, we talked about, like, what are the next steps? So who are the people that we're going to target? And I said, well, MLK Day is coming up, and I know the mayor's going to do an event. And so I just found the location for the event, and we went live. And I went live on Facebook and, like, asked him questions repeatedly over and over again, like interrogating him about the letter because he sent this random letter, but it didn't have any real details. And because we showed up, you know, randomly, he wasn't expecting us and crashed the event, he got thrown off. And he started responding in ways that he really shouldn't have been. And I think that also had an impact on them releasing the video, but also them taking seriously, like, firing the officers and holding them accountable.
Because it was different. It was, like, different, like none other before, like how fast everything was happening. It was like we never seen
because we were
this before.
consistent with action. So I wrote out a strategy. We consistently were going to do something every day until they met each demand.
So that was intentional.
Yeah.
Every day.
We asked the family what the demands were. We had demands from them. We had demands as a community, what ordinances we wanted to see happen in place, who we wanted to see fired. And I said, okay, we need to do something every single day. So when we did the event MLK Day, he kind of responded, but not really. So then we did a protest. Then when they released the video, we did another protest on the bridge. The mayor actually, someone called on came on a four-wheeler and said, well, we'll get the mayor on the phone, you can talk to him. So me and my friend Josh got in the car and talked to the mayor, and he asked, like, you know, what do you want? I said, you need to shut down the Scorpion unit. He wasn't prepared to do it. So the next day we went out and did another protest. And while we were doing that protest, they shut down the Scorpion unit. But if we had stopped right then and been like, okay, whatever, then we wouldn't have kept getting the things we were asking for. And then after that, we showed up at the city council meeting. We did a rally before the council meeting to get people pumped up for it, to say, like, this is what you need to go in and say at the council meeting. Here's the talking points. We made an entire toolkit that's still active right now that we use online that had all the contact information for every city council person, the mayor, every step that we had for demands. Anytime something was answered, we added in that this was responded to. Here's the next thing. We put a tab for press. Anytime there was a press release or media that came out with an interview, we had that there. So everyone all around the world, even if they weren't here, they could send emails, they could make calls. It gave everyone a step. So if you can't do something in person, you can do something digitally. If you can do something here in person, you can come to this protest. And we all were showing up and pressing over and over again until we got the things we were asking for.
All right, LJ, you want to chime in on that?
And I think it's also fair to say, I was speaking with Kiana the other day, and I told her that it wouldn't have come to the conclusion that it came to had Mama Road not had the courage to snap the picture of her son in the hospital and put it out there for everybody to see. Right. Once we saw that picture, we automatically understood that this wasn't what they initially said it was. We knew that it was something that was far greater than, and there was a bunch of cover-ups. And so for me, the main thing was holding the police officers accountable, disbanding Scorpion Unit, but I also think C.J. Davis needs to be held accountable, and so does the mayor, because we shouldn't have had to press that much. There was a point in time when me, Amber, and Cassio went and sat down at the mayor's office and sat with him and CJ, and we had a conversation with them, and we just got gaslit the whole time. And still to this day, we're still being gaslit by them because some of the demands that we've asked for have not been met, such as CJ Davis being dismissed from her position. She's just as responsible. But I think it was really important for us to come together and let the family know that, you know, there are people here who didn't know Tyre, but had his back and loved him, and we care about the black citizens of Memphis. And then now, I mean, they've become extended family to me, and I'm just grateful for their presence. But I just want to make sure that we can continue on and make sure that, you know, we do get it right this time. We don't want another repeat of what happened to Tyre, because it should have never happened in the first place.
I also want to hear from my brothers, because
I'm gonna let Frank go first.
Okay. And Frank, now we know folks remember you from when we had the protests on the bridge and everything, and you were very instrumental then. You know, now you had another situation, man. Like, your influence on the community has weight, and I wanted you to kind of talk about how important it was for your role to be a part of this and to make sure everything go the way it's supposed to.
Well, my role was to, you know, for Tyre's mother wishes to, you know what I'm saying, to be granted, because she didn't want the city to be tore up. So, you know, I had to get with the streets and tell the streets, like, we already don't got nothing in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? So if we do mess up our city, it's going to be about 20 years before they rebuild anything. You know what I'm saying? So we already don't got nothing, so why we going to mess up anything in our city? So we just got to be, you know, that's just common sense. Like, when you from the streets and, you know, it ain't really, you know, you growing up without nothing, and then you see what's going on, you just be like, no, I ain't gonna mess up my own city. You know what I'm saying? When they ain't even bringing nothing to our city. You know what I'm saying? We don't got nothing here. So why would we destroy our cities? You know what I'm saying? We in the streets every day, me and Cassio. We do everything. You know, we help different families. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody do, you know, separate things. Everybody doing great things in the city. We pushing for the streets.
Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck times 10. Like, when I looked at that situation with Tyre, like bruh just said, like Gotti just said, we in the streets. So we know what these police are capable of doing. We been done like that before. You know what I mean? And so when I saw it, I knew the story wasn't adding up. And there's nothing worse than somebody trying to speak the truth but putting lies in it. You know what I mean? So once I saw that, me, Kareem, Hunter, there was a few more other people. Like, we went to that scene. And me and Kareem was like, nah, this didn't take place there. So we rode around. We stayed out there about 3 hours. We rode around, and finally we got the actual spot where it took place. Like Kareem just said, we saw the sky cam. Once we saw the sky cam, we like, hey, we got to make sure they don't do nothing to involve no lies or throw no gypsy twist inside the footage from the sky cam.
Right.
So on behind that point right there, like Frank just said, like, we in the streets. Like, I know if we tear up this city, if they rebuild it back, they're going to rebuild it back for what they want, not for what we need.
Right.
So that wasn't even an option. Then when I finally met Ms. Wells and Mr. Wells that same day, she told me about her son. She showed us pictures. She let us know that Tyre wasn't that type of person.
That's right.
And she said, man, listen, I just wanted it to be peaceful. So at that point there, even though we called out the streets, we had to let the streets know, hey, bro, we ain't doing that. We ain't rocking like that. We standing on business, just like the sweater say. We standing on business, bro, like, we got to get this done peacefully. And one thing I know about being around Frank, if you take the money out their pocket, you can get a lot. But if you do what they think you're going to do and be a thug or a delinquent, you ain't going to get no results. So it took a lot of effort, and me being who I am, like, peace ain't really what I'm standing on. Like, I want to see it, but sometimes you have to get your hands dirty to get to where you're trying to get to. It's just that simple. So We stood on business for Tyre. We gonna continue to stand on it because we ain't got justice yet. I ain't seen nobody go to jail. I ain't seen Ms. Wells. I ain't heard Ms. Wells say she's completely satisfied.
Right.
Until that family that's sitting in this room and Ms. Wells and Mr. Wells said, Cassio, I'm content. I'm satisfied. All right, we standing on this.
Right.
And CJ Dave need to roll.
Now I gotta chime in here because I remember I had Amber on. I think she gave a update at the time, and I got some flack because I thanked all our street organizations. And like I said, you know, saying something like that in this day and time where we giving credit to street organizations is not the proper thing or the politically correct thing to do on this type of platform. But because of how things went to what my brother just said, having that connection to be able to tell them the mother's wishes and they listen. I mean, you had to give our street organizations their props because we know if mom would have came at our brother, yo, you know what it is, I'm upset. What would transpire from that? Because he feeling mom's energy.
Right.
So that's why I always said we got to thank our street organizations and our activists that made this stuff happen. And now thank you all for chiming in. But to the family, you hearing all this stuff take place with the activists in the city. Y'all may not have met them prior to, but how was it to see the streets organized on behalf of the situation that happened to your brother?
So first and foremost, like we all from California, you know, like I never met an activist until I came to Memphis. I didn't know what that was about or whatever. But from the first day, first meet, you know, Frank, Cassio, you know, been A1. Like just seeing how they move and, you know, how they connect with their city and put on for my brother and, you know, still respecting my mama wishes and my stepdad wishes and my family wishes. Like it's been amazing. Like honest to God truth, like they my brothers now because I talk to them almost every day.
Wow.
Every day.
Okay.
Every day I call Frank. Every day I call Cassio. You know, and we chop it up. Anything I ever want, whatever, I'm gonna be way across country. And for sure, man, I got you covered. All right, for sure. You know, and that's something that you can't really, you know, like what's the word? You just gotta respect that. You know, it's just simple. It's been respect. It's been respect since day one, and you know, like they say, standing on business, and definitely standing on business.
All right, sis. Anyone?
Yeah, so it's crazy because when I first learned that my brother died, my mom was literally in her room, like she was in a perilous state, like when we got here. And I just know it was like literally like 6 people. Like we went to the police station. As soon as we got here, it was Cassio, Frank. And it just seemed so small. It didn't seem like nobody cared at the time. Like it was super small, but it was just in that. It went from that to the next day, the whole world knew because I felt like at the time, how could this? I felt like it was gonna be swept under the rug, you know. So their time, their energy, everything that they've done for our family has made this a national thing, and like it's supposed to be, you know, like because what happened to my brother was horrific, like, but I kind of felt like from the beginning the lies, them coming to my mama's house, like they're already trying to cover it up from the jump. And so the activists and everybody, like even when we were in California, like we couldn't be at the city council meetings every day, we couldn't be out there in the field every day. They did that, and so I will always love and respect them for what they did for my family.
Okay. The sis and bro want to chime in on that? You can move that over there if they want to talk.
Well, I just want to say I love all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all the best to me. I rock with y'all completely, 100%. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need me, call me, I got you. If y'all need something, call me, I'm there. It's just that simple. We standing on business. Let's get it.
Also, if y'all want to chime in before I go to this next thing.
I got a lot of love and respect for everybody in this room. They know that.
Period.
So, yeah, family, extended family. You know, I always give them their credit when it comes to this because they knew what to do and they did it.
Some people don't know what to do. And some people act like they know what to do.
And it was pure, you know, because a lot of I've learned also during this crazy ass year, like people will really try to attach themselves to your tragedy to be seen and heard.
Come on now, yes.
And that's what I've learned a lot. Like I've had to really like, you know, separate certain things. Like people will literally try to attach themselves to your tragedy just for their own personal clout. But I feel like they did it from their heart. And so I respect that. And it's definitely something that, like you say, it just you don't see it a lot because people, like I said, they'll try to attach themselves to your tragedy just to be seen or heard.
Get that clout and get the likes and like, yeah, look what I've done and all of that. And that's why I'm glad you touched on that, because Amber mentioned something that hit for me was she checked with moms and y'all, like, what's y'all demands? Because anybody could have took it. We want justice, this, that, and the other, and ain't said nothing to y'all.
Right.
So what was that part of the plan, or is that something that y'all came up with, or it was intentional from the jump? We want to see what the family want before we get out here and do what we do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a strategic organizer, like just in my regular organizing life, like when I think about organizing stuff. And so I think that it's important when you're developing a strategy, the people that are affected are directly involved. Right. And when I was brought in, it was for Kareem saying like, hey, this is what's happening. We're trying to get some attention to this. And so I want to talk to them and see like what they wanted. And this was not a new issue. Like Tyre being put over for a pretextual stop had been happening in Memphis for a very long time. And Decarcerate Memphis had just presented at a city council meeting in December about the pretextual stop, saying like, hey, if you look at this data, all these tickets, if you're in a zip code with a lower income, they're getting pulled over more. And 90% of the people who are getting pulled over are black. Right. So like it's very purposeful, and the city council had a chance to fix the problem. Then they did not, and then Tyre was murdered. So I also feel like there was more pressure on them because of that, because they knew that there was an issue. They knew the police were doing that, and they didn't do anything about it.
Right. Wow.
And Brother John, if I could say something, there's a and for the listening audience, there's an activist code. That's a national activist code that you all don't get a chance to hear or see. Right. But that code is that when any type of situation occurs, the activists go to the family members. Right. They go to the family and they listen to the family and they operate off the demands and the requests of the family. They're just not out here doing whatever the hell they want to do, Brother John.
Right.
They're doing what the family is requesting them to do, and then they're putting strategic processes in place to accommodate and get the necessary justice that these families are seeking.
And I'm glad you said that, because, you know, in some places, remember how it was said, you had provocateurs that would go set stuff off. It had nothing to do with the local activist community or talk to the family. They just out there to cause something to be popped off. And that's why Memphis, if you hear my voice, we have to give our local activists their props. I know it's a year later, and, you know, maybe we couldn't do it then, but we doing it right now, definitely, because what they all are saying right now is the reason why your city is not tore up. I have to say that. So you can't just say because, oh, this person, this, that, and the third. No, our activists and our street organizations need to get their proper props. I'm not saying need a proclamation or something, but everybody must realize how the important part played in what happened last year.
Everybody played an important part.
Everybody, yes.
Like Kareem just said, though, like as an activist, like if you standing on business, you understand that it's not about you. You didn't lose no one. If you stand in consolidation in support of their family who did lose someone, you got to respect their wishes. You just can't make moves on your own. Right. You can't just do what you want to do. Right. It got to be strategically planned out to get the better results of what this family wants versus what you feel like you want. It's not about you.
And that's, ladies and gentlemen, that speaks volumes to people that think we just out here wilding. You see that we're talking intelligently. We having a proper conversation on what happened. We have a structure. You see, you hearing this. See, I wish we could have had this a year ago, but I'm glad we having it now so y'all can see from the minds of the people that kept everything quiet and low. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, give me that, because you reached that.
Yes, I just like to also say it's very important not to just be there in the moment with all the action going on the streets, we have a lot of female sisters that we need support with keeping their brothers in line with their emotions. So we need to also be providing mental health support, loving on these sisters that are trying to keep their families together, all while dealing with the loss of a family member.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you for chiming in on that. Now I want to, how's mom and dad? How they doing? Yeah, I saw them at the inauguration. Mom was beautiful, lit up. Dad was good. But I know we getting back to this 1 year anniversary. How they doing?
Honestly, just being real, like my mom, like right now that her kids is here, like she's cool, but I can tell, like, when, like, just say, for instance, beginning of this week, I was calling my mom. She wasn't answering the phone, nothing like that. And then I talked to my sister. I'm like, sis, you talk to mom? She's like, no, I ain't talked to her either. And then that's when it becomes a problem. It's like, that's when I know that something ain't right with my mom. If she ain't talked to our oldest sister, okay, cool. Like, so when I got out here, I kind of seen, like, all right, mom, you look a little shook up or whatever, but I mean, she got every right to feel like that, though. It just, that Tyre was our baby, and like losing a child it's crazy, So it's just, just watching her still to be strong, though, being strong for us, and watching Pop take care of her and being there for her as well. So I mean, it's ups and downs with it, but I mean, we're a strong family, so we gonna get through it, and like, we just gonna get it done.
Right. How has the support been through the year? From not just Memphis, but how has the support been? Because when something happened, it's popping right there for the first couple of weeks, then it died down. People not talking about it. But how has it been? From the support, worldwide or from the nation for y'all?
First and foremost, is a certain person that support our family to the max, beyond, just goes beyond, above and beyond, and just be there for our family no matter what. And that's this good man Kareem that's standing behind me. Like, honestly, I think he's my brother. I think my mom birthed him. Like, I'm just be real. Like,
automatic brother, right?
Like it's just he's gone above and beyond for our family, and I'm not even just talking about stuff for Tyre, just personal stuff with us. Like he's always there. It don't matter what time it is. It can be 5 o'clock out here in the morning, and I'm up at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock in California. Hey, Kareem, yeah, what's up? What can I do for you?
Right.
So that's been amazing, But around the globe, I mean, every day, somebody's reaching into our inboxes or whatever, hey, we're praying for you guys, keep your head up, whatever. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the support is still there, It's just like, it's not that we try to bury it or whatever. Sometimes certain things you gotta just kind of like, not pay attention to so much, because you just want to continue to keep moving forward. We can't keep dwelling on, like, you constantly hearing stuff, and it's like always putting you back in that mode again, to where every day is a January 7th, we don't want to be a January 7th every day. You know what I'm saying? We still got, we got kids and stuff like that. We got lives to move on and do our thing, So it's just like, we appreciate everybody, and we just, we love it. But at the same time, it's hard for us. So, yeah.
Sis, you want to chime in on that?
As far as, like, from what I see, my mom, I talk to her, like, I'm the only girl. Well, my sister, but I'm the only girl. But she'll pull me to the side and she'll tell me, like, stuff that she won't tell the boys,
Oh, okay. Mother-daughter connection.
Yeah, and so she'll be, like, telling me little stuff. And then the other day, when I did talk to her, I was like, you okay? And she was just like, no, not really. And she was basically telling me she was literally counting down. Like, she wasn't counting down. As the days were approaching, she was replaying everything that happened in her head. From the day he left, he was going to training at FedEx to learn how to do the forklift. Like, she's replaying every moment up until the moment that it happened. And I just hate that for her, that she has to keep like my brother said, keep reliving it and reliving it and reliving it, and it's like that's
like
going
re-triggering every time.
And it's another thing is crazy. While everything was happening, me and my mama was on the phone. And she kept saying, my stomach hurt, Key. My stomach hurt, you know. I'm just like, girl, you probably ate something weird and, you know, something like that. But it's that's the craziest part. Me and her is on the phone the whole time while everything was literally going on. And she kept walking to her window. Wow. So it's like to see her replay that in her head. But she's so graceful and she's so strong. Like I tell her, let me sip on some of that stuff you got, cause girl,
you strong. You like you mom, the matriarch.
Yes, like it's just like you have no choice but to follow suit. You know.
Okay.
And I'll say this, brother, just she is in a state of stress this week.
Yeah.
Every major news outlet has reached out to us. Every local news outlet has reached out to us to try and have an interview with her leading up until tomorrow, and she respectfully declined all of them. She said, Kareem, I can't do it.
Right. You know, we respect that, but let her know our love, man. You know, we praying for her and the fam, her and her husband, man, because they just broke it down to us. So no other question need to be said about that.
Right.
You know? So my other thing is, yesterday, we had the mayor was up here. They were celebrating their fraternity's Founders Day, and I broke rank because I didn't know he was coming, right? But somebody had just told me that the new mayor was going to support the Tyre Nichols ordinances, right? So again, I could be in trouble. I hadn't got that email yet, but I asked him right here since I had him. I said, word on the street, you going to support the Tyre Nichols ordinances? And I said, is that true? Now, in the mix of them celebrating their thing, he stepped up to the mic. He said, yeah, I said it. You know, he said they asked me at this, I guess they had a press conference or something, and he said that he was going to support that. And I want to go to the activists on this, because this what y'all been fighting for, right, to get these ordinances passed. Hearing the new mayor say that he support that, you know, is that a step in the right direction from y'all standpoint? Because hearing him say that and hearing the past mayor not support it, what vibe does that give you all?
None of that matters to me unless he's going to actually present a plan of how he's going to do that. It's very performative for him to make statements over and over again about supporting them. That's great. But what are you actually going to do? Because the police chief herself has already lied again and said that they put policies in place to make the ordinances, you know, make sure they're in compliance with them. But folks are still getting put over pretextual stops. People are still getting put over by unmarked cars. Folks aren't being pulled over correctly because the data transparency ordinance says when you pull someone over, you have to give them a unique ID number. You have to ask very specific questions during that stop. So there is a listed reason, because one of the key things was when Tyre Nichols was stopped, they told him a reason why, but she said that that wasn't true. So one of the listed questions is, why am I being stopped? They have to answer all those questions as police officers. None of them are doing that.
But that's part of the ordinances that y'all put forth. So
and all those ordinances passed.
And so now it's just, now we got to see if he said he supported, now we got to manifest that and bring it to fruition. That's what we're saying.
He needs to do it. There's no manifesting.
It's just he needs to do it.
If he's saying that we're going to follow, he needs to do it.
Perfect. All right, that's why I just wanted to be clear. I just wanted to be clear because when he said it, I wanted to get that part of it, you know, because he said he supported and he's going to do it. It's just making sure that I'm hearing from y'all what y'all said on that. Yes, sir.
Like, truth be told, like, if they don't do it, like, they ain't doing it now. If they ain't doing it, we gonna stand on it. Like it's just that simple. Like, we ain't asking for nothing. We telling you this what we gonna get. Like, it ain't all that nice. Please be. Right. Nah, we standing on this strictly from the streets perspective.
Okay.
Like, they ain't doing what they supposed to be doing, because I don't know Paul Young. I ain't gonna sit here and say I know that man, but if I don't know you, I can't speak up on you.
Right.
So I can only watch and see what your action gonna be.
And I think that's the vibe of the city. People want to see his action. You know, like to Amber's point, you know, everybody waiting to see what he's going to do. It's been 5 days, and you know, he said he wanted to get to work. So now we gonna see, and that's what everybody's waiting to see, brother Kareem. They want to see what action, what is he going to do, because everybody is watching For real, yes, ma'am.
But he also needs to put that same action behind our police chief because she's rogue. And she's been rogue for a long time. She was rogue when she was in Atlanta. She was rogue when she was in either North Carolina or South Carolina. And she just has had a history of doing what she wanted to do. And it's going to be important for him to put her in her place and check her and have her make sure that they really enforce these. Otherwise, we ain't going to get nowhere.
Right. She need to roll.
She needs to roll.
Yeah, she needs to roll, but at the same time, I respect Paul Young for even having on his heart to even, even come out and say that. You know what I'm saying? We got to be real about about that, for real, because Jim Strickland didn't give a, he didn't give a damn about our orders.
Thanks for holding up that word.
You know
I appreciate that.
Like, for real, like, he didn't even care about the orders, period. So, I don't know him like that, but for him to even consider it and have it on his heart, that's a start. You know what I'm saying? That's just to me.
Gotcha. All right. Now, I know we coming up on a year. Are there any kind of the city doing anything, or is there any kind of events taking place that we can let people know what's happening?
So I organized a visual with Kiana and the family. So there's candlelight visual happening on Sunday at 7 p.m. at the intersection of Castlegate and Ross. And then on Monday, we're doing an email and text blast specifically around Police Chief Davis not being confirmed as a police chief. Because we don't want her to maintain her job. She has shown that she is not accountable. She does not care about Black Memphians, and she's not going to uphold the ordinances. Yeah, so she got to go. And then on the 9th, where the city council meeting is happening, at the committee meetings at 11:45, we'll be there for that meeting when they're doing her confirmation hearing. And then we'll also be at the city council meeting, bringing up the ordinances again of like, hey, y'all are not following these. These people are being impacted by it, but also do not confirm this lady. She cannot do her job, and we don't have any trust in her.
Wow.
Also, Brother Jay, if LaToya can talk about the series of events that's going on in Sacramento simultaneously at the same time on tomorrow.
Yes, so speaking of support, Sacramento has been extremely supportive, which is our hometown. So we get a lot of support there to do a lot. And they are holding a candlelight visual for my brother tomorrow as well. The city's involved and a lot of the community activists there who have been also very supportive. So we're grateful for that. There's a few other candlelights. I don't know the details. Right. But
they doing something.
They doing something.
Los Angeles is doing it. Chicago and Oakland that we know of. And Patterson, New Jersey.
Okay. Now, how was the skate park? Were they building a skate park out there in Sacramento?
Oh yeah, we got phase 1 done. That was open in June.
Okay.
Phase 1, and that's where they're having a candlelight at tomorrow. Okay. But we are actually going to get started on phase 2 of that same park. It's going to be bigger, and I'm pretty excited about that. So we went
from phase 1 to phase 2.
Yeah, we got phase 1 done.
That's
just getting everything.
Now, had the city said anything? I remember they mentioned something about trying to do something.
The city is working with Tony Hawk's initiative, the skate park project, to do a regional skate park in honor of Tyre in the city of Memphis. So they're working out the logistics as we speak, and they've been working on that since last year.
Okay.
Shout out to Skate Park Project and California Skate Parks.
Yeah, go ahead and get Cali they props. Get a props. Any closing words before we wrap up? If something we didn't get to touch on,
shout out to you, Big John.
No problem. I may not have a job in about an hour, but it's all right. It's all right. I stand on that, but it's just a simple fact, man. We can't have a platform that we say is for the children and not show all sides. You know what I'm saying? We can push something. Yeah, we can push a narrative, but sometimes, like giving credit to our street organizations and activists, that's unheard of. You won't hear that on the news or on other radio stations because they not connected to the streets like we are. So again, I'm gonna thank y'all again and again and again and again, and y'all take that because y'all know it could have went totally different. So I'm glad the family. Thank y'all for stopping by. Please give mom and dad the love, and we appreciate them and we all the prayers, and look forward to bringing everybody out tomorrow. Get that address one more, the corner.
So if folks want information about the Week of Action, they can go to bit.ly / justice in all caps, the number 4 and Tyre in all caps, so TYRE, and we'll be at the intersection of Castlegate and Ross at 7 p.m.
Castlegate and Ross at 7 p.m. So all you woke folks and them hoteps and all you folks that keyboard killers out there, come on and get out there and give some action. Just come out there and stand. You know what I'm saying? Take your pictures there. Don't sit on behind the computer talking about, yeah, we wish you was there, it was too cold. Come on out here and support the family. They came all the way out here from California to your city. So the least thing we can do is support. And give that address one more time, because, you know, they hear it once. You got to give it to them one more time. BIT